Good day, everyone. Welcome back. I'm David Long, and this is The Mountain Men. Today, we want to talk about a secret that a lot of men don't, I would say most men don't understand about how to climb the corporate ladder, what's really involved. Then there's nothing wrong with wanting to aspire to a higher position at work, but most men have it completely upside down as to how that is supposed to work, and that's going to be the focus of today's video. So in another video, I will be explaining the 5 things. I gave a little teaser to this in one of the intro videos, the 5 things your dad was supposed to teach you growing up. And in most cases, most men didn't get these 5 things. Well, today I'm going to give you one of those, okay? Here's one of the secrets your dad was supposed to teach you, and that is that the secret to advancement in the culture, in life, anywhere, is to serve others. Okay, now, for 6,000 years, we were basically an agrarian people all over the world, different phases, different times, I understand, but basically at the end of the day, we've been in an agrarian economy for 6,000 years. Now, in that setting, a dad would take a son by about the age 6, 7, or 8, somewhere in there, and that son would start to work with him. And if it was a wise dad, if it was a good man, he would teach his son one simple truth. Son, you make me successful, focus on my success, and you let me worry about making you successful. If you will focus your attention here, not on yourself, not trying to get ahead here on the farm, but if you'll focus on making me successful, you will become successful, and I will see to it that you learn what you need to be successful. So that is literally, and I'm just going to give a couple definitions here today, guys. That is sonship. Sonship is the act of making a father figure in your life successful. Now, probably north of 80%, maybe 90% of men in our day and age never learned that, never had that opportunity, or any of the other things that dad was supposed to teach them. But that one in particular, they never learned. Dad went off to work somewhere else. You know, psychologists have proven that if you can't touch your father's work when you're growing up, you will begin to have a negative view of work. Why? Because work is what took dad away from me. So over the last 150, 200 years, the Industrial Revolution began to take fathers off of the farm and into the cities, into the factories. And then, of course, in the late 1800s, the Civil War took another 650,000 men away from their sons and daughters. And so these two major historical shifts have caused this setting where sons and daughters, but particularly sons, were raised by working with their father. That has shifted. And every generation since then, you see a lower and lower work ethic, and you see less and less of what I'm just going to call sonship. Now, sonship is the idea of making a father figure successful. Another term for sonship is servant leadership. So let's get back to the work world. Hey guys, I want to tell you something. Many of you are not going to believe this. Many of you are going to say, no, I've tried it. It doesn't work. If you set out from day one in your company to make your supervisor successful, and you don't worry about your success, all you do is you focus on their success, you will be successful. Let me give you an example of how this could work. And by the way, a son is the opposite of a hireling, okay? A hireling is one who is in it for what they can get out of it. They view a job situation as something, I'm going to get a salary, I'm going to get this insurance package, I'm going to get this whole perk package, and I'm going to get. Well, a son, and I'm going to challenge the mountain men to be sons of the house in the work world, and you'll understand in many, many other videos as we go forward how this applies in so many other areas of life. But a son comes in, and he's focused on the father figure. This is his supervisor. He's focused on that person's success, okay? And now, so when time for promotion comes up, this guy has been working day and night to make the boss successful, and the boss has the opportunity. And so an example of this, you know, another department needs help, they're struggling, and the guy who's trying to act like a son in the workplace says, hey Bob, can I help those guys with that? And that's the operative term, by the way, can I help you with that? Now, he doesn't ask for extra pay, he's working extra weekends, he's working some nights, he's knocking himself out for this other team that has nothing to do with his normal responsibility. In fact, he's doing all his normal responsibility in addition to doing this extra stuff, and he's helping them, he's getting it done, he's not in it for himself. Whereas the hireling over here doesn't volunteer, doesn't sign up, doesn't offer to help others. Now, when the time for promotion comes along, who do you think is going to get promoted? When the boss sees these two kind of workers, same capability, similar intellectual ability, similar background, But the team player, the true team player, which means he's a son of the house, which is the term I want to use in the business world, the son of the house is going to get that promotion. Does that happen perfectly every time? Of course not. In fact, there's this story in the Bible where Joseph in the Old Testament, who was a well-fathered, well-trained son, but hated by his brothers because he loved his father, he was always trying to work to make his father successful, and they had a sense that he had some abilities they didn't have. They hated him. They were going to kill him. They ended up selling him into slavery. He ended up down in Egypt, and one of the rulers down there was named Potiphar. He ended up a slave in Potiphar's house, and over a pretty short period of time, because of this sonship principle, he rose to the top of Potiphar's house. He was ruling over everything in Potiphar's house except Potiphar himself. So there was this little scandal where the wife was trying to proposition Joseph. He didn't go for it. He ended up getting falsely accused. He ended up in jail. Same thing happened in jail. He just started serving the jailer as if he was a father figure, and you guessed it, he rose to the top. Now, in that jail setting, he had the opportunity to do some dream interpretation. Pharaoh heard of this when he had a troubling dream that he couldn't figure out. None of his wizards could figure it out. And so he was brought out of jail to interpret this dream, and long story short, you guessed it, he became right hand to Pharaoh rather, in that setting. So the principle of sonship, and we'll pull this apart more in other videos, but guys, today, for purposes today, I want you to think about how you're serving at work. Are you serving as a hireling, or are you serving as a son? That's the biblical principle, and I'm going to end it with this. Sonship is an irresistible principle. It's a, what's the other term I'm looking for? It's a immutable. It's like gravity or other things that you can't change. It cannot be changed. Sonship will bring you before great men. It will bring you into prominent positions. Now, why would we want to do that? We would want to do that so we can extend the influence of the kingdom of God. Of course, it's not so that we make more money. Only it's so that we can we can extend the influence of the kingdom of God. And the work world is probably where 90% of men will spend 90% of their productive years. So we're going to talk a lot more about that. Sonship. So another way to say this, Dennis Peacock always used to tell me, he who serves leads. He who serves leads. I'll leave you with that. Guys, thanks for hanging out. Please hit the subscription button if you would, and the notification button, and please share this with your guy friends in your world. I'm trying to build momentum for the channel. I really appreciate your help. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. I'm David Long, and this is the Mountain Men.